Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day, and good moment to you wherever and whenever you are on this sweet, wild, sacred earth. I'm Julie Ling, and this is the Voice of Wonder. There are happy dogs around me. If you hear noises in the background, you get down, Queenie. Get down. Thank you for joining me here in the space of the joy of dogs. I invite you to let the flute drop you in to your body, into this moment, into your connection to this beautiful earth on which we live. There's so many things alive in me today. Which one wants to be spoken? Happy dogs are playing. A friend of mine told me yesterday about some friends who were just in despair at the state of the world. And she said, listen to my friend's thing. And it made me think about where I started, what my original purpose was, which was to create an opportunity for anyone who wanted to spend 15 minutes practicing what they would love instead of what they don't want, holding a vision of grace for this entire world, for everyone on it, whether or not they look like you or talk like you or think like you or act like you. And even and especially the parts inside of us that we don't like. It's my sense that a lot of what's happened and created the polarization that we see in the country I'm in, the US, and so many things is the idea of other. That other person, I don't understand them. And implying that somehow that makes them wrong or bad because I can't understand. I don't understand how someone could do something so awful. And sometimes it is hard to understand. And I once heard Louise say something that's always stuck with me. A mean person is a person in pain expressing that pain. And the more we ask or say what is wrong with other people, instead of asking what happened to them, the worse it gets. When we say, oh, I don't want this, I don't want war, I don't want all this hate, I don't want all this division, I don't want all this polarity. It's been said the universe is like a fast food restaurant that can't hear the word no or not. So in every moment that we're thinking or we're doing or saying something, we're at that window ordering. And when we say, I don't want hate, I don't want war, I want this thing to stop, we are pushing. We are pushing against, and that always creates resistance. If somebody tells you, don't you dare do that, isn't there a part of you that says, try and make me stop? Yeah, stop me. Yeah, watch, whatever. I don't care what you say. I'm doing what I want anyway. We all feel that energetically. And the more we push, the more resistance we create. And we've got a world full of resistance. And I'm not inviting you to say, oh yeah, it's all great. It isn't. And what are you practicing? Today, right now, what are you practicing? Are you pushing against what you don't want and ordering it by the bucketful? It's like instead of the 3-piece meal, you're getting the bucketful. Or are you focused on, are you practicing what you'd love? And so ordering more of that. I'm going to be quiet and play the flute and let this just settle in. What would you love? Where are you practicing what you don't want and pushing against it really, really hard? This is wrong. This is bad. This is awful. Stop it. Go away. Somebody tells you stop it, go away. Don't you dig your heels in and say, no, you can't make me? Just notice where maybe without realizing it, you are entrenched in what you don't want and how wrong it is, how bad it is, how awful it is, how mean it is, how other they are. Just notice that for a moment. And why am I inviting you into this experience? Because if you're not aware you're doing it, it makes it really difficult to do something different. And what I would love for you is more grace and more peace. And we cannot feel more grace or peace inside when we're pushing against, when we're judging and blaming and wronging and shaming. And so wherever you're doing that, and I think most of us do it somewhere, sometimes unconsciously, without realizing it, that's why I'm inviting you to look at what might feel really uncomfortable. So that in looking at what it is you're pushing against, it's like the tail end of the arrow. And if you look at the opposite direction, what is it you would love? What is it you would love instead? Because if you don't practice that, if you don't look for that, you won't ever find it. If you turn on the news or not, but are paying attention for proof of what you know is wrong and bad, you will find it every time. We always find what we are looking for. So please start looking for what you would love. How would you love your friend who's been dismissive to speak to you instead? What would you love to see on the news instead? What would you love to happen? How would it feel in your body? Choose one thing. You could choose something about the state of the world. You could choose something about the state inside of yourself. Is there something inside of you that you're constantly criticizing, pushing against, blaming, judging as wrong or bad or other? It doesn't change outside unless we change it inside. When I started doing these meditations, I thought everyone would be envisioning everyone on the earth as light and seeing that beauty. And that's not what's come. And my sense is that hasn't come because that's not the way. The way is to shift it from the inside. The more peace you feel inside, the more acceptance you feel inside, the more that you can meet any part of yourself rather than othering it and pushing it away, the more easy it will be for you to look for and find what you love out there, to be open to the possibility. So I invite you now to choose one thing that you would love. That's at the other end of that arrow of what you don't want, that you've been, as my mother used to say, perseverating on. You've been focused on and repeating over and over again. It's never going to get you what you'd love. It doesn't work that way. So I invite you to look the other direction. Yeah, where there's rain coming out the window. Well, rain on the other side of the window. What would you love? How can you place an order of that today, now, in this moment, as you pull up at this fast food window that doesn't and cannot hear not? Such a double negative. Gets me every time. The two poodles here are playing. So if you hear funny noises in the background, it's joy. That's always a great background. So while I play, just think of that one thing that you would love. What does it look like? What does it feel like? you as you move through this day to return to this vision of what you would love. And not just the vision of it. I heard this recently, I think it was attributed to Edison, to Einstein, and that could be wrong. And one day I'll look it up. Electricity, thought is electric, and feeling is magnetic. And I invite you into not just a mental picture, an idea of what you would love. How would it look? What color is it? How does it feel in your body? Is it warm, soft, sharp, bright? Does it make you lean forward, or do you relax into it? How does it feel inside of you? What smells are there? Is there a taste in your mouth? Are you near the ocean? Are you in a big city? Do you smell exhaust? Do you hear the honking of horns, or the crashing of waves, or the sounds of friends around you? Do you hear the silence of peace? What is it that you see and hear and taste and touch and smell? How does the air feel on your skin? What are you wearing? What does it feel like? Feeling is magnetic. And perhaps instead of the automatic of dropping into the healings of, oh, how this is, I don't like it, we rise into the feelings of, this is what I would love. It feels so good. I'm going to imagine this, not to make it happen, which is pushing. I'm going to imagine this for how it feels, imagining it, how I feel having it. As I place my order, this is what I would love. This is what I would love. Peace on earth, peace inside of me. A good relationship with my neighbors who think differently than me, but are just as human as me, who love their children like I love mine, who want a peaceful place, whatever the thing is. Practicing that. Feeling the feelings of it, for the pleasure of it, for the pleasure of this picture, and looking for it out there. Where do you see a drop more of peace, of kindness, of grace, of beauty? You will find what you look for. What channel are you tuned to? If you're tuned to chaos, that's what you're going to see. If you're tuned to hate, that's what you will see and feel. If you're tuned to grace, if you're tuned to beauty, if you're tuned to peace, you will see it because you are looking for it. And the more you see it, the more you will find it. So today, I invite you to look for what you love, as well as practicing it. Holding that vision for the pleasure of it, for the ease of it, for the peace of it inside you. I love the line of that song, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. There's a part of you you've been judging and blaming. Maybe it's been trying to protect you. Most fear does. Most Hate is an effort to try to protect, to feel safe. Can you practice feeling safe from the inside out? Can you, huh? I invite you to. What if peace jumps all over you today? What if joy leaps up and kisses your face with a wet tongue? What if it could happen? So today, go out into your day or your afternoon or your evening or your night, or step in between into the land of dreams and practice that vision of what you would love. If for no other reason that you feel better in doing it, and that matters. That matters. How you feel matters. Your peace matters. And I used to say years ago, don't worry, I'm not contagious. And now I find people saying to me, Julie, you are contagious. And what if I am? I hope you catch this from me. My sense of wonder, my practice of looking for what I'd love. Join me. May you be contagious too, and spread it to everybody you touch. Even people you've othered before. May you see beauty, peace, kindness in them. May you ask instead of what's wrong with you, what happened to you? Even if it's only inside, I invite you to that. And if there's a part inside of you that you're othering, ask, what happened to you? How are you protecting me? How are you protecting yourself? And see if you can find just a drop more of grace, just a drop more of peace, just a drop more of loving kindness. An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind, but seeing clearly, seeing with grace, seeing with peace, perhaps that brings more sight. And that's my wish for you. I'm Julie Ling, inviting you to let peace, grace, harmony, loving kindness sing inside of you a little more today. And who knows, maybe like me, they'll jump on you and kiss your cheek like a big poodle just shaved for the summer. I hope so. Have a beautiful and blessed day.